July 10th, 2016. Two men are walking into the entrance of a bank in Taipei. They're wearing medical masks and fisher hats. One of them guards the entrance while the other stands in front of the ATM. He doesn't do anything, though he doesn't withdraw money with a card, nor does he try to blow it up. He just waits, and then something curious happens. The ATM starts spitting out banknote after banknote. All he has to do is collect the money. As a stranger approaches, they immediately abort and leave the stranger. Will find the cash just lying there, even though it doesn't exactly look like it. He just walked into a massive heist. While those two men collected their money, 20 others did the same thing at other branches. This is just one puzzle piece of a larger operation, a 2-year-long sophisticated attack that shook the global financial system to its core. More than 100 banks in over 30 countries with stolen funds amounting to roughly 1 billion. One of the biggest bank heists in history, orchestrated by hackers. The Carbanak group. They are led by one elusive mastermind, but on this one night in Taipei, he and his team made a crucial mistake, one that they will pay a heavy price for. Carbanak was a game changer. I think poof the attackers, they have the password of the administrator, so at that point, we knew that they were watching what we were doing. It's very hard to arrest a piece of code. Applause. Music F. This video was created in cooperation with the cybersecurity company Kaspersky Labs on the basis of their documentary series Tomorrow. Unlocked, also check out this great podcast, episode by Darkit Diaries. On the story link in the Maxim gets distracted. Description: the actual events of this hack are known, but the names of the attacked banks and involved employees were never disclosed. So to tell this story, we created Maxim. That's it. It's the 8th of April, a regular Tuesday. He works in a Ukrainian bank. He's a well-respected employee, but he has a bad habit of not installing his Windows updates as he sips his coffee and thinks about the receptionist. He has a crush on an email from his colleague Pops. It's from Sergey, his co-worker. The mail has a Word document attached. It translates into compliance with federal law 115, dated 217/2014. Sounds important enough. Maxim clicks on it. He reads it, closes it, and continues his very ordinary workday. A few months later, Maxim is sitting in a meeting. His boss seems distraught. Some of his bank's ATMs started spitting out banknotes at seemingly random times of day. It seems like whoever was lucky enough to show up at the right time could just grab the money. The bank might be the victim of a cyber attack. The employees should act cautious and avoid suspicious emails, meetings, stress, colossal hacks for many. It's the same story every day. What if you want to throw in the towel and build something of your own? Udo is an all-in-one platform that gives you everything you need to manage your business. You don't need any tech skills, honestly. You can be a complete beginner with Udo. You can create a sleek website and launch your dream project in no time. It's just 4 simple steps. What kind of website do you want? Define the field of activity and the objective. Choose a color palette or insert your logo. What pages or features do you want? Pick your favorite theme from the wide range available. Udo AI does the rest. Then you can easily customize your site, drag and drop blocks whenever you need them. Use built-in chat GPT to help you write, engage and copy. Udo can also handle translations. If you want your site to be multilingual, Udo's first app is free for life with unlimited hosting and support. They even give you a free custom domain name for 1 year on top. If you're ready to scale, Udo offers a range of other powerful applications to optimize your business. Visit Fern, deal 5 now and start building your own websites for free. The bank hired Kaspersky to investigate their problem. All your ATMs are empty. You know that? Something has happened. This is your thunder. He was part of the team on the case. He checks the hard disk of the affected ATMs for malware and finds nothing. Not one suspicious activity, not a single trail to follow. A few months later, Ferv gets a call in the middle of the night. It's 3 a.m. It's an account manager working for a large Russian bank. He says Derval and his team need to call his IT guy ASAP. A couple of minutes later, one of Wonder's Kaspersky co-workers shows up at a bank in Russia. The IT guy on the site is panicking. Someone has gained control over their domain controller. That's the heart of their server network. If you control the domain controller in a Windows environment, you basically control everything. And without a good reason, it's sending data to China. The Kaspersky specialist starts to look for malware right away. Eventually, he finds a software that lets you watch and control computer remotely. Could it be that the intruder is watching them? Right now, he has an idea. He opens a Word document and writes the Russian word for hello. They wait for a few minutes, nothing happens. Then suddenly the cursor moves and letters appear. The hacker answered. He adds in Russian, "You will not catch us," to which the Kaspersky employee replies, "We will catch you." "No, you will not catch us." Okay, it's odd. Music. It will take some time, but eventually the Kaspersky team finds the malware. It is similar to the Gerber Trojan 1 configuration file of the malware is called ANAC, so the team decides to call it Carbanak. This incident at the Russian bank gave Hill and his colleagues hints about what is going on, and they link it all back to those hacked ATMs in Ukraine. Now they can reconstruct how the Carbanak hackers operate. So let's wind back. This is one of the Carbanak hackers. Again, it's the 8th of April 2014. He already got into Sergey's email account, but he wants access to Maxim's computer. So he sends out this email with that attachment. The Word file exploits vulnerabilities in Microsoft Word to download malware that contains the backdoor. The hacker now has remote access to Maxim's computer. Next step, gain access to the whole network. And he knows exactly how to do it. The hacker installs a specific software on Maxim's computer which slows it down, which in turn frustrates Max Mayhem, so he calls it to come by and check. By the time the IT guy comes over, the hacker has installed a key logger. This way, he will be able to see everything one types into Maxim's keyboard. The IT guy starts to investigate. To do so, he needs to type in his admin password, and bingo, the hacker got the admin's password. He tries it out on the domain controller, and yep, it's the same now. He can go look for the computer in the network that controls the money transfers and the ATMs. But he doesn't attack right away. Instead, for months, he silently observes the employees managing the transactions. Once he fully understands the process, he proceeds to steal the money. The Carbanak group developed 3 different methods. One way is to transfer money from so-called transaction management accounts to their own accounts to avoid suspicion. They raise the balances by the stolen amount beforehand, keeping the total unchanged. Since banks check accounts only every 10 hours, the transfers go unnoticed. Another way is to take control of specific ATM to let them spill out banknotes right into the hands of money mules. These are men hired through the movie and mafia who collect the money and send it to their bosses. In exchange, they get to keep a small cut. The third method is the most sophisticated. The hackers set up a couple of bank accounts in the names of their money mules, including debit cards. Then they make sure they all have the same small amount on it, let's say $3.33. Then they update the bank's database, exchanging that $3.33 for 1 million. Suddenly, all the money mules have $1 million on their bank account. Now they just use their debit cards to withdraw the cash as a side effect of the database update. Some broke bank customers will suddenly find themselves to be millionaires the better the Kaspersky team understands the methods of the Carbanak group. The more they begin to grasp how complex this operation is, Kaspersky teams up with Europol, major European banks, and various national law enforcement agencies to hunt them down. They're able to take down some of their servers, but then the hackers start using different tools and continue to work under the radar. By the beginning of 2015, Carbanak has robbed at least 100 financial institutions in almost 30 countries. Most of the victims are in Russia, but also in the US, China, and Europe. Within 2 years, they steal roughly $1 billion. They appear to be unstoppable until someone screws. Music Bobby hides his money. Up the first bank reported that over 70 million NT was withdrawn illegally. The withdrawals were made in both Taipei and Taizhou.
across 34 ATMs and 20 branches in July 2016. Carbanak attacks the so-called first bank in Taipei. But the Taiwanese police are quick on their feet, very quick, at least 500. Police officer checking the CCTVs. We check all the footage from and back to the hotels of all the suspects. 22 money mules, most of them Russian, the rest from Eastern European countries. 19 of them successfully flee Taiwan, but 3 remain in the country with the money. Their faces are all over the media. To escape, they have to get rid of the money. Somehow one of them hides 2 sports bags with some of the money at the Dong Park. He then flees to Yong County and hides there, but he is caught and leads the police back to the sports bags. But instead of 2, there is only 1 left. An elderly man found one of the
bags and took it home. He probably think that was fortune from God. The police seize the second bag and search for the other money mules. A man called Bobby hides the rest of the money in 2 suitcases and stows them in 2 lockers at Tai Central Station. Shortly after, 2 other men from Eastern Europe arrive in Taiwan and collect the suitcases from the main station. They go to a hotel to have brunch. As they sit down, they're interrupted by the police. Put down the knife. Your folks stay calm. Don't move with us. Such they ask the men to take them to their hotel room. In their hotel room, law enforcement finds banknotes that are worth roughly 1.5 million. The Taiwanese police managed to recover 90% of the stolen money. The 3 money mules are sentenced to a little over 4 years in prison. These guys are just low-level operatives. But on the phone of one of the men, the Taiwanese police find pictures of stacks of money in various currencies. They also find emails from the suspected head of the Carbanak group, Europol, the FBI cybersecurity companies, and several authorities from different countries work tirelessly to find the Carbanak mastermind. Little do they know he is hiding all the way across the globe, living a life in the fall of a mastermind. Luxury, March 6th, 2018. This is Dennis. He's Ukrainian, but now he lives with his wife and son in Alicante, Spain. He's a rather private person. He doesn't really leave the house right now, as per usual. He's coding new malware. He's one of the best of his trade to keep a low profile. He does most of his spending in Bitcoin at the time. He's worth 15,000 Bitcoins in 2018. That was worth roughly $162 million. Today it would be more than $1 billion, but there are some things that Bitcoin can't buy. Not a lot of car or house sellers like to be paid in digital currencies, so he needs to use real money to buy these, which leaves traces. This is what tipped off the police. They start to follow the money and eventually realize who he is. His laptop is still on and unlocked. The forensic team immediately starts to collect evidence. The authorities will seize 2 BMWs in jewelry valued at $500,000 and of course his Bitcoins, but the vast majority of the stolen $1 billion remains missing to this day. Dennis K. may have been the mastermind behind the Carbanak operation, but he certainly didn't work alone. We think there was quite a big team, at least between 10 and 30 people altogether, that was able to pull this scheme off. You can find the same piece of code being used by different groups, and it's very hard as a security researcher to know the difference which group is using what code, because the code is very similar. It's very hard to arrest a piece of code. In late 2018, 3 Ukrainians were arrested who were allegedly involved as well. The Carbanaki Joker Stash, Carbon and Cobalt Spider experts suspect that those Russian cybercriminals are given free rein by the Russian government in order to cause chaos in the Western world. Maxim's Bank lost millions. As we know, now this could have easily been avoided. The Carbanak group exploited a vulnerability in Microsoft Word 1 that had already been fixed 3 years prior, but Maxim was too distracted to install those Windows updates, so make sure to keep your systems up to date. It could save your employer a couple million